Hello to all hi-fi enthusiasts. Welcome to Hi-Fi Fever channel. I'm 388. I know that many audiophiles are often torn between choosing an integrated amplifier or a pre-power amp combo. Personally, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here. It really depends on each audiophile's individual situation. If we look purely from a sound quality perspective, integrated amps generally don't sound as good as a separate pre-power setup, but to really get the best out of a pre-power combo, there are actually a lot more things you need to consider. Let's start by talking about placement. If you're using a pre-power setup, no matter what, you have to place the components separately, with the preamp and power amp on different shelves. If you end up stacking the equipment on top of each other, you might as well just use an integrated amp. Also, playing with audio gear is really a game of minimizing mistakes. So if you use a pre-power setup, you'll have an extra power cable and an extra pair of interconnects, which increases the chances of making mistakes in your setup. On the other hand, with an integrated amp, there are fewer opportunities to mess up the pairing, so your chances of getting good sound are actually higher. That's why I think there's no definitive answer as to whether a pre-power combo or an integrated amp is better. This time, what I mainly want to do is share with you a flagship integrated amp from Japan, the Soulnote A-3. According to the manufacturer, this integrated amp incorporates all the key components from their flagship preamp and power amp. Everything has been packed into this unit, making it a truly uncompromising integrated amplifier. So what exactly are the upgrades? Just keep watching and you'll find out. This A3 integrated amp belongs to the same flagship series from the brand, so if you look at its front panel, it maintains the signature look of the flagship line. You'll notice that the front panel isn't just a flat piece, it has some contours and recesses. This design not only increases the rigidity of the front panel, but also helps to reduce vibration. Plus, you can see on the front panel that it has the controls for input selection and volume adjustment are located here, and below that is the power switch. Additionally, there's a button for recording output monitoring and a mute button. For this unit, not only is the top cover designed to be non-fixed, but even the bottom is also non-fixed. This allows vibrations to dissipate more effectively. Looking at the back of this A3 unit, have those inputs been removed? The mute jack has been removed, and the power jacks too. They're all loose. This design is meant to dissipate vibrations. Also, you can see that the left and right channels are separated independently. There are 3 sets of balanced inputs and 3 sets of RCA inputs, and there's also this recording output. Here you can see there's a row of toggle switches. The first one is for the phase of input 2, where you can choose between 2 plus 3 minus and 3 plus 2 minus. You can switch it yourself as needed. Next, there's the bypass for the volume control of input 2 and input 5. When you switch it on, input 2 and input 5 will bypass the volume control. At the very bottom, there's the ground lift and ground connection switch. When you switch input 2 or input 5 to the volume bypass function, the indicator lights for 2 and 5 on the front panel will light up. The bypass indicator will turn on. When you turn it to input 2, the volume control will be cut off, and when you press it, you'll get a direct volume pass-through. This makes it convenient for connecting to an AVM or for using this unit as a power amplifier. When you open up the A3 chassis, you'll see that not only are the left and right channels separated, but even the ground wires are completely isolated. The ground separation technology from the flagship P3 preamp has been directly implemented here. How do you connect the high current supply and amplification sections to ground without causing mutual interference? That's a major challenge. The A3, through a straightforward, feedback-free and computer-precise design, has successfully achieved complete independence of all audio circuit potentials, including input selection, volume control, and protection circuits. All the signals are isolated using this same meticulous approach, truly achieving a complete separation, like river water never mixing with well water, resulting in an even wider and more three-dimensional soundstage. In order to fully unleash the power of the T03, the A3 uses ultra-powerful T03P transistors for both the driver and pre-driver stages, forming a 4-stage Darlington configuration. As for the output stage, it adopts the same single-ended push-pull design as the flagship M31 power amplifier, paired with T03 dual transistors. The advantage is that from ultra-low to ultra-high frequencies, there's virtually no distortion. The level of fidelity is extremely high, ensuring that from the quietest passages to the most explosive moments, the current supply remains stable and never falters. Both dynamics and control are exceptionally well executed. As for the T03 and T03P, they're mounted on a large copper plate, which not only provides heat dissipation, but also serves as a power bus for the power transistors, acting as a current distribution hub. And the power transistors, they pass directly through this copper plate and connect to the base plate below, which reduces extra wiring and lowers both inductance and loss. Even more importantly, this heat-dissipating copper plate is physically independent. It's not directly locked onto the chassis. This effectively provides vibration isolation, making the sound even more transparent and lively. The other amplifier circuit boards also use a floating design, supported by a 3-point suspension system and titanium alloy components. This avoids the vibrations from the transformer and also allows the components to release their own micro vibrations, which is very beneficial for the sound quality. For the voltage amplification section, the manufacturer has used their latest TR computer, which features a fully balanced, no negative feedback design. Inside the computer, they've used satellite-grade bare copper sockets to achieve the purest possible signal amplification. As for the stepped volume control, it also uses a large number of bare copper resistors, combined with specially customized RSR 2-12D glass encapsulated relays. This design has minimal impact on the signal, but it is a very high-cost construction. Inside the A3, there are 3 toroidal transformers. The left and right channels each have their own independent 700 VA non-impregnated large toroidal transformer, plus an additional smaller toroidal transformer dedicated to powering the control computer. All 3 transformers are installed vertically, which helps balance the magnetic fields and reduce interference with the circuit boards. As for the rectification, the latest SiC dual diodes are used. They're fast and highly durable. Underneath the circuit board, all the filter capacitors are 470mm small capacity types, aiming for the ultimate sense of speed. Even the power switch is meticulously designed. The front panel switch only controls this small toroidal transformer, and only when the small transformer is powered will it activate the relay to supply power. So, when you turn on the machine, you'll hear the sound of the relay clicking on, right? After listening to this A3 this time, I would describe its sound as fast, precise, and decisive. There's absolutely no muddiness. Everything rises and falls quickly, giving a sense of liveliness, vividness, and energy. That's why I especially enjoy using it to listen to violin music. The violin sounds crisp and dynamic, and the details of the bow rubbing against the strings are very easy to hear, which proves that this machine has pretty good analytical ability. I've also used it to listen to many violin recordings. I noticed that a lot of violin techniques like spiccato, staccato, sul ponticello, and sul tasto are all very clearly audible. Recently, I listened to this violin CD, Vivaldi plus Piazzolla's Four Seasons. This CD uses silver alloy as the UHQCD substrate. I found that the fidelity is very high, and this time the A3 performed really well with it. So, I'll play a segment for everyone to listen to. The sound profile of the A3 doesn't emphasize coloration at all. There's absolutely no tonal distortion. Its goal is to reproduce the music as faithfully as possible, so accurate is the best word to describe it. If you're looking for sweet, lush female vocals or exaggerated chest-thumping bass, then this might not be your cup of tea. But don't worry, it's not bland or tasteless like some kind of disinfectant that wipes away all the beautiful tones. As long as your recording has good sound quality, the A3 can bring it out. Finally, regarding its power, I know a lot of people have reservations about the A3, especially since at maximum output it only delivers 60 watts, but honestly, in my experience, even in this roughly 200 square foot space, driving the Magico S3 full-range floor-standing speakers, I never felt it was lacking in power. It can still handle deep foundational bass, as well as sharp, punchy guitar with a spicy edge and fast, powerful drum beats without any problem at all. Of course, if you're after that earth-shaking impact or the kind of exaggerated cinematic sound effects, then you might want to go for a preamp and power amp setup instead. If you want to achieve that speed, precision, and punch I mentioned earlier, there's one thing you absolutely have to do. You need to install the original manufacturer's spikes and the original base plate. At first, I was lazy and didn't bother to set them up thinking, well, I'm already using the original stand, so why bother? But after I actually installed them, I found the improvement was really obvious. The soundstage became more defined, the imaging was more solid, and the lines were much clearer. So if you want great sound, there's really no room for laziness. Speaking of how great this A3 integrated amp is, does that mean it can replace a preamp and power amp setup? In my opinion, if you have enough space and enough experience with audio equipment, a separate preamp and power amp setup still offers more room for performance. Saying all this might sound like I'm promoting this distributor, so I'll add one last thing. You can also consider the P3 preamp or the A3 core power amp. They really sound quite good. Alright, that's about it for this sharing session. Everyone, you can also subscribe to this Hi-Fi Enthusiast channel so I can reach 40,000 subscribers even faster. And if you enjoy the videos on the Hi-Fi Enthusiast channel, you can scan the QR code on the screen to become a loyal member of the channel. As a loyal member, if you ever have any audio-related questions, I'll do my best to answer them for you as soon as possible. See you in the next video.